Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of Toro Tales. It's been a little bit of time. Let me explain, or rather, as Inigo Montoya said, there's not enough time. Let me sum up. Deployed to Afghanistan, 9 months, came back, bought a Tesla, totaled a Tesla. We've had most of our cars either be destroyed or removed off the platform. We're down to 2, really 1. We'll talk about that. And something happened in the world that changed rental cars, specifically Toro, for us. So it may not have happened in your area, but where we live, something happened that drastically altered how rental cars or Toro is handled. So let's get into it. Let's go over kind of what my earnings have been for the past few months. And I think that's important anytime that you are trying to get a good idea, as if this is a good idea for me, to look at your earnings. So we'll do a quick review. We'll go all the way back to when we started this shindig. This was our best year that we've had to date. We earned $33,000 in 2018. You can see at the height of our empire, we were bringing in about $5,300 a month, or for 1 month of that year. And then after that month, we started getting rid of vehicles. I started to do some other things with business. We had fewer and fewer vehicles listed on the platform. You can pretty much just see exactly how that was reflected. In 2019 is the year I deployed, so we started actively preparing for that by removing vehicles off the platform. And I left, I was gone for this whole year. Mostly left in January and didn't come back till November, so you can kind of see that during that time there was quite a drop off, but still not bad for some mostly passive income at $14,000. Then 2020 hit, and something weird happened in March timeframe to our local economy that has been reflected ever since. So we're gonna kind of pull this up here and show you what we have so far for this year. You can see that majority of our earnings occurred before the events that happened in March and April, and then later. So you can see we're probably going to earn somewhere close to $8,000 this year if everything is perfect. But you can see that it's been consistently lower and lower, and there's a few different reasons for that. More videos to come, but I just wanted to show you what it was and how these earnings are coming. So as I pull this up here, we only have 2 vehicles on the platform currently. And you can see we have the Dodge Grand Caravan that started it all. This was the very first video we did, was on the way to go buy this car and list it and see if it's made money and see if it was a profitable thing to do. We have since purchased this car fully, and you can see that over the years since we first purchased it, which I should go back to 2017, that's when we first added it. You can kind of get, I'll do some quick math for you guys here, and we'll look over kind of what this vehicle has pulled in for us totally over the years. So 2017 was $970. 2018 we earned $67.38. 2019, my wife took it off for a lot of that year because it became her primary driver while I was deployed. And you can see again, $35.70. And then for 2020, so far this year, you can see $14.73. So total, this car has brought in $12,751 in total earnings, including reimbursements and things. So almost $13,000 for a car that right now is, it's 5-6 years old, and I can do math. It's 4 years old, and that we paid at the time $22,000 for. We've since paid off, and it's worth more than what we owe on it. So just from a very, very basic standpoint, yes, it has been profitable in this one vehicle. We basically haven't paid anything for this car. It's been mostly free, even during this crazy hectic time in the world. All right, so that's that car. The other car that is still on is this Suburban. This Suburban has absolutely paid for itself in more ways than one. I got a heck of a deal on it. That video is posted. You can check it out. But over the short time that we've had it, you can see we got it back here in December, and just in the past, I mean, not even a year yet, and it's coming up on $3,000 we've earned. And this car also we have, it's been trucking along for us, and we've had really no issues with it. This car is not on the platform right now, so let me pull up that, and we'll talk about why this car is not on the platform and what I can do about it. You'll see right here that this car is currently unlisted, and the reason for it is your car has been unlisted due to an open safety recall. So that's easy, right? We want our guests to be safe. We want them to have a reliable, safe experience. The recall is for an airbag, which is important. That GMC put out a crap product. Now they've got to recall it. The problem is they have not received that open recall. Cannot be completed because the parts have not been shipped to the dealerships yet. So there's literally nothing I can do to get this recall removed from the platform. It is just sitting and waiting for a letter or a phone call from the dealership saying, hey, we see you have this vehicle and we finally have the part in. You can bring it in to us, and now we can put it back on the platform. So until that happens, this car is, for all intents and purposes, completely unable to be used. Now, something that is interesting about this, if I go back to my earnings here and look at just that one vehicle, you can see that upcoming earnings for December is $184. Well, it was already booked months in advance for the month of December, and Turo will not pull it off for that, so it will still allow that guest to use it and rent it for their purposes. But the problem is in between now and then. I mean, that happened in September that we got that, and so in the next couple months, we really can't do anything with it on the platform. So it's no longer making us money, and that can happen to every single manufacturer. It happens all the time, and if they just don't have the parts, they don't have the parts. So they put that safety recall in there. There's really nothing we can do to do it. So that's just kind of the unknowns about that. If I go back to my overall vehicles really quickly, we'll talk about what happened to all of these cars we've had listed. These are all cars that have been successful for us on the platform. There's actually two more that are not listed here that I removed at the time. I just removed it completely. Now I just unlist them so that I can still keep track of them. But talk about kind of where all these cars went briefly. We know it's the Suburban still being listed and still being driven. The Dodge Ram Caravan we talked about. The Ford Taurus was T-boned and totaled. That one was just a fantastic earner for us. We really had no issues with it, and it just made money. It was the very first car we had listed on Turo. Made money for us for years. That one and also a Ford Ranger that's no longer listed here was the very first two cars we started with. And cheap cars that made us money. These GMC Terrains, this one here, and also this one over here, we got on leases that we were able to put on Turo without breaking any laws and doing anything sketchy. They made quite a bit of money, but when I deployed to Afghanistan, we decided to turn those leases in, so my wife had fewer cars to manage. We had a screaming deal. We were paying for both those vehicles. It was $160 a month each on those leases. So, and they were brand new, and we had no issues with them. People liked them, so that was awesome. We had a great experience with those. When I got back from deployment, I went back in there and I said, hey, can you give us the same deal you gave us last time? And they said, dude, I don't know how you got this deal in the first place. There ain't nothing I can do to match this. And the best deal I could do that was literally double, almost $400 a month before we were doing $160 and $170 a piece. So maybe we shouldn't have turned those back in hindsight, but who knows? With the coronavirus, maybe it was probably the right thing to do. This Volkswagen Jetta, we bought it. And within 3 trips, it was listed. It was doing great, making money for us. And then within those 3 trips, we had somebody make us an offer that was literally double what we paid for the car. And so we said, yeah, here you go. Here's your car. So that was fruitful in the non-Toro sense. Dodge Grand Caravan was good for a long time. A family in need expressed a desire to keep it. We had let them use it and knew them outside of through church, and so they ended up buying it from us. And so we made money on it while we had it, and pretty much sold it for a little bit less than what we bought it for. But you can see in the 31 trips that it had, it was profitable. If I pulled up the numbers, you could look at it that way. Ford Escape. Gave it to my cousin. She needed a car. And 105 trips. That was one of our best earners. And then this one right here, 109 trips on the Scion. That was a great car. And that car actually ended up... Renter rear-ended another car on the interstate, high rate of speed. After she rear-ended that car, she went into the wall, the barrier, the metal barrier guardrail on the side of the road, and awesomely, we got a letter from the government saying, "Hey, you owe us thousands of dollars to fix the damaged railing that your car crashed into." Turo is still trying to take care of that, and there will be an upcoming video on the headaches that have been induced as a result of that. But Turo has changed dramatically from when we first started it. From when we first started, it was kind of a wild, wild west. List any car, kind of do your own thing. And now the regulations have gotten more restrictive. The benefits to owners has come down quite a bit. And we're going to talk about that in an upcoming video. But that's kind of the state of where Turo Tales is at. Yes, we're still on the platform. I get messages sometimes that, hey, he must have been off the platform because he's not responding and haven't seen a video in a long time. I'm sorry. I'll be better at doing that going forward. But that's kind of where we're at right now. If you have any questions, if you're still wondering if Turo is a good idea, see our next video. Please click there or there, and maybe down here if you want to watch any more videos and see kind of our journey, the genesis of where we started and kind of the exodus since then. And we're still on the path. Tesla coming next. I'll have a video on that as well. So if you like these videos and they're useful to you, please subscribe and like the video. Comments below if you have anything to add to it, and let us know what you think. If you're a host on Turo, are you staying with Turo? Are you already off? And tell us why. And till next time, life ain't always beautiful, but it's a beautiful life.